Welcome again to the lecture series of signals and systems. Till the last lecture, we have completed almost all the aspects of the Laplace transform. We completed all the variety of questions in the Laplace transform, and in this lecture, we will move to a new important tool which is used for the conversion of the discrete time signals from time domain to frequency domain, that is jet transform. So earlier we have seen for the existence of the Fourier transform, the signal xt should be absolutely integrable over the duration from minus infinite to plus infinite. So there are some signals, those are not absolutely integrable. We cannot find the Fourier transform for them, and for that purpose we moved to the Laplace transform to find the transformation of such signals which are not absolutely integrable. Now, in the same way, there are some discrete time signals also which are not absolutely summable. So we cannot find the discrete time Fourier transform for such type of signals. If the signal is not absolutely summable, we cannot find the discrete time Fourier transform of this signal. For that purpose, we have to somehow make this signal converge, and we have to use another important tool which is jet transform. So we have seen earlier the Laplace transform expression for the Laplace transform as the Laplace transform of a continuous time signal x of t can be expressed as integration from minus infinite to plus infinite x of t e power minus s t dt, where we know the variable s is a complex variable which is equal to sigma plus j omega. Now, if the given signal is discrete in nature, instead of being continuous, it is discrete in nature, means which exists for very particular values of given in time of the n. So this Laplace transform can be of this signal can be written as the integration will be converted to the summation for the discrete time signal, and limit will go from minus infinite to plus infinite as it is. In place of xt, I will put here x of n, and this will become e power minus s, and t is a continuous variable. I will replace this t by a discrete variable which is n. So if we have to convert a discrete time signal in the frequency domain, we can convert this expression of the Laplace transform in this way. Now we know that this s can be written as sigma plus j omega. So this expression can be written as n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into e power. Now I will replace this s with this given relation which is equal to minus sigma plus j omega into n. This can be further simplified as this is equal to n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. This will become x of n e power minus sigma e power minus j omega n. Further, I can write it as x of n e power minus sigma into e power minus j omega, or further we can write it as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into e power sigma power minus n. and this can be written as e power j omega power minus n. This can be converted in this way. If now, if we consider this variable e power sigma as r, suppose e power sigma is replaced with another variable r, then this expression will become sigma x of n r power minus n into e power minus j omega power minus n. I will write in this way. This will become e power j omega power minus n. Now we can write this again in a more simpler manner as this will be equal to sigma x of n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. This will become r into e power j omega whole power minus n. This can also be written in this way, r into e power j omega and whole power minus n. Now if we assume this r into e power j omega as another variable z, then this will become sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n, and which is the expression for the z transform. This is the given expression for the z transform. And as we have seen in the previous step that this can be written as sigma x of n into r power minus n into e power minus j omega. And we know the expression for the discrete time Fourier transform, that x of omega can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n e power minus j omega n. This is the expression for the discrete time Fourier transform. Now compare these two relations, expression for the z transform and expression for the discrete time Fourier transform. This x of z and this x of omega, how they are related to each other? By observation we can say that the discrete time Fourier transform, z transform, is simply, it is the transformation of x of n into r power minus n. Z transform is the discrete time Fourier transform of the x of n into r power minus n, because in place of xn it is written here xn into r power minus n, remaining is same. Here is e power minus j omega n, here is also e power minus j omega n. The difference is, instead of x of n here in the z transform it is written x of n into r power minus n. So this is an extra term included in the z transform. It means that if I will put here value of r is we know that if r power minus n will become equal to 1 here, if r power minus n will become 1, or we can say that if r is equal to 1, then this expression of z transform will become, for r equal to 1, the Z transform will become discrete time Fourier transform. If this R is equal to 1, then this R will become 1. Then this will become xn into e power minus j omega n. This is also xn into e power minus j omega n. Means for R equal to 1, this expression of Z transform will become same as expression for the discrete time Fourier transform. So for this case, for this particular case, the Z transform and Fourier transform are similar to each other. Now we know that also this R is written as e power sigma, as we considered earlier in somewhere in the step. So if e power R is equal to e power sigma, it implies that R being 1, it means that sigma should be equal to 0. So this is the condition to for the Z transform to become discrete time Fourier transform. So in the Laplace transform also we have seen, in the Laplace transform also we have seen that if we will put sigma equal to 0, we know the expression for the Laplace transform. This is x of s is equal to integration from minus infinite to plus infinite x of t e to the power minus sigma plus j omega t dt. Now if I will put sigma equal to 0 in this expression, so this will become integration from minus infinite to plus infinite x of t into e power minus j omega t dt, which is expression for the Fourier transform. This is the Fourier transform of the signal x of t. It means that for the sigma equal to 0, the Laplace transform will become Fourier transform, and if we will put sigma equal to 0 in the expression of Z transform, this will become sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n e power minus j omega n. It means that if we will put sigma equal to 0 in the Laplace transform, this will become Fourier transform. If I will put sigma equal to 0 in the Z transform, then this will become discrete time Fourier transform. It means that the Fourier transform is an special case of the Laplace transform, and Z transform is an special case, and discrete time Fourier transform is an special case of the Z transform. By knowing all this, we will now consider how to for the signal the criteria for the existence of the Z transform. So we know that the Fourier transform, discrete time Fourier transform of x of n will exist. Discrete time Fourier transform means x of n into e power minus j omega n. This will exist when this sigma mod of x of n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, is absolutely summable. The discrete time Fourier transform of the signal x of n will exist when this x of n sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite is absolutely summable. Means if we will sum up this signal xn from minus infinite to plus infinite, this will give a finite value. After then only the discrete time Fourier transform of this signal will exist. Now if we will see the limitation for the existence of Z transform, then x of Z can be written as n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n r power minus n into e power minus j omega n. Again, this Z transform is the Fourier transform, discrete time Fourier transform of this signal. Z transform is the discrete time Fourier transform of xn into r power minus n, and if the existence for the limitation, if the limitation for the existence of discrete time Fourier transform is this, then compare these two relations, the existence for the Z transform, the limitation for the existence of Z transform will be sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, and in place of x of n it is written here x of n into r power minus n. So this term x of n into r power minus n should be absolutely summable, means it should give a finite value when it is summed up from minus infinite to plus infinite. This is the condition for the existence of Z transform, that x of n r power minus n should be absolutely summable in the duration from minus infinite to plus infinite. So after knowing the expression for Z transform, we will consider some basic signals and we will get the Z transform for these signals. So the relation to get the Z transform is x of Z is equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into Z power minus n. By knowing this relation, we have to get the Z transform of very basic signal if x of n is given as delta of n. We have to get the Z transform of this given very basic signal, impulse signal. Put this value in this equation, this will become x of Z will be equal to sigma delta n into Z power minus n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. This is what we will get for the Z transform of the delta n. Now this signal will exist, we know that this delta n will exist only when n is equal to 0, and it will be 0 for all other values of 0. So for that purpose, from minus infinite to plus infinite, value of this summation will be 0 except that it will be 1 at n equal to 0 only. So we will consider only one value of n which is equal to 0. So this will become 1 into Z power minus n for n is equal to 0. So this will become 1 into Z power 0 which is equal to 1. It means that Z transform of delta n is equal to 1, and this is for all values of Z. Z may consider, Z can take any value. The transformation Z transform of delta t will always be equal to 1. Now the second basic signal is u of n, which is unit step signal in discrete time. The second basic signal is x of n is equal to u of m, and we know the definition of this unit step signal, that this will be equal to 1 when n is greater than or equal to 0, and this will be 0 when n is less than 0. Now x of z for this signal will be sigma u of n z power minus n, and we know this u of n will exist only for the positive values of n, means now limit on the summation will be from 0 to infinite instead of from minus infinite to plus infinite. So I will put limit here from 0 to infinite, because un will exist only for the positive values of n. So no need to take n negative values of n. Now for positive values of n, this u of n will be equal to 1 z power minus n, where n is from 0 to infinite. Now put all the values of n from 0 to infinite. This will become put n equal to 0. This will become 1 plus z power minus 1 plus z power minus 2 plus dash 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 till infinite. Now this is a summation of infinite GP series, and this summation will exist only and only when if the terms of this sequence are less than 1, means if z inverse will be less than 1, only then this series will exist. Or we can say that 1 upon mod of z is less than 1, means mod of z should be greater than 1. This will be the values of z for which this expression will converge. So those values of z for which this expression will converge, those values are known as region of convergence of the z transform. So the region of, if z will be equal to 1, only then this polynomial will converge for the condition that z should be greater than 1. Now this summation, we know that formula to get the summation, that is summation of such type of series is a upon 1 minus r. A is the first term, r is the common ratio. So common ratio here it is z power minus 1. So this will become a is 1 upon 1 minus r is z power minus 1. So this will become 1 upon 1 minus 1 by z, or we can say that this will become z upon z minus 1. An important outcome, that z transform of unit step signal or a right sided signal having constant amplitude, z transform of u of n is equal to z upon z minus 1. This is another important relation. The z transform of very basic signal u of n will be equal to z upon z minus 1. Now consider some more basic signals like ramp signal, exponential signal, complex exponential signals, and we will get ROC and Z transform for these signals. The next one is, if x of n is given as n into u of n, means ramp signal, then what will be the Z transform for this given sequence? The Z transform for this can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite n un into z power minus n. And because u of n is here, because of this u of n, this limit will be from 0 to infinite instead of from minus infinite to plus infinite. So this will become sigma, limit is from 0 to infinite, n into z power minus n. Now put all the values of n from 0 to infinite. This will become 0 into z power 0 means 0 plus z power minus 1 plus z power minus 2 plus z power minus 3 plus till infinite. Or we can take z power minus 1 common from this relation, after taking z power minus 1 common, this will become z power minus 1, 1 plus z power minus 1 plus z power minus 2 plus z power minus 3 plus infinite. If z power suppose I will let z power minus 1 as x here. So this will become equal to x into 1 plus x plus x square plus x cube plus infinite. So this is expression for what? This is the expansion for which series? We know that actually this is sigma n into z power minus n. So where I will put values of n, we have to multiply with n also. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 and so on. Also here it is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. So this will be equal to 1 plus 2x plus 3x square plus 4x cube and so on. And we know that the expansion for 1 upon 1 minus x, this will be equal to 1 plus x square plus x cube plus so on. And expression for 1 upon 1 plus x, this will be equal to 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube plus x power 4 minus and so on. Similarly 1 upon 1 minus x square, 1 upon 1 minus x whole square will be equal to 1 plus 2x plus 3x square plus 4x cube plus and 1 upon 1 plus x whole square can be written as 1 minus 2x plus 3x square minus 4x cube plus and so on. So this expression is same as this given expression of 1 upon 1 minus x whole square. So for this we can put as x of z is equal to 1 upon 1 minus x whole square, and earlier we considered x as z power minus 1. We have taken z power minus 1 equal to x, so this will become 1 upon 1 minus z power minus 1 whole square. This is the z transform of a unit ramp signal, or this can be further simplified as 1 upon 1 minus 1 upon z whole square, or 1 upon z minus 1 upon whole square upon z square, or further this can be written as z square upon z minus 1 whole square. This can be written in this way also. So the z transform for a signal given as n into un will be same as z upon z minus 1 whole square, where as we discussed earlier the ROC for this will be say as z should be greater than 1, only then the Laplace transform, the z transform for this signal will exist. Now we will consider some more interesting examples, as now we will consider the z transform of e power minus j omega n into un. X of n is given as e power minus j omega n into u of n. Now x of z for this signal will become sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite e power minus j omega n un z power minus n. By using this expression, we can get the z transform of given complex exponential signal. Now, we know that here is a factor u of n which will exist only for the positive values of n. For that purpose, we have to again put the limit from 0 to infinite only. We does not have to take the negative values of n, and this will become e power minus j omega n z power minus n. Or further, we can combine the two terms as n is from 0 to infinite e power j omega into z power minus n. We can write this expression in this way also, combining the e power j omega n into e power into z power minus n, or we can combine this as a whole power of n, which is n is from 0 to infinite into e power minus j omega into z power minus 1 power n, because we have to take only positive values of n, so I will put only positive n here. This will become, now put all the values of n from 0 to infinite. When we will put n equal to 0 in this expression, this will become 1, plus when I will put n is equal to plus 1, then this will become e power minus j omega into z power minus 1 plus e power minus, or we can write it combinedly as e power minus j omega into z power minus 1 square plus e power minus j omega into z power minus 1 cube, plus this will continue to the infinite. So this is again a GP series having infinite number of terms. For that purpose, we have to apply the formula for the summation of a infinite GP series, and for that purpose, this term, modulus of this term should be less than or equal to 1. It means that modulus of e power j omega minus j omega into z power minus 1 should be less than 1, and modulus of this e power j omega will be equal to 1. It implies that z power minus 1 should be less than 1, or 1 by z should be less than 1, or we can say that z should be greater than 1. This is what the shows the region of convergence of the z transform. So for the existence of z transform of this exponential complex exponential, the z should be greater than 1. This is the region of convergence for the z transform of this given signal. Now apply the formula for the summation of infinite GP, which is a upon 1 minus r. A is 1 here, and r equal to 1 by z into e power j omega. R is equal to e power minus j omega into z power minus 1, which can be written in this way also. Or we can write it as z into e power j omega upon z into e power j omega minus 1, z into e power j omega minus 1, or we can divide with e power j omega in the numerator and denominator. So this will become, if we will divide with e power j omega in the numerator and denominator, this will become z upon z minus e to the power minus j omega. So remember this formula of the Z transform. This is again and very important result, that Z transform of e power minus j omega n is equal to z upon z minus e power minus j omega, where z should be greater than equal to 1 for the existence of Z transform of this given complex exponential. Similarly, we can derive the Z transform for the e power plus j omega n. This is the Z transform for e power minus j omega n, and similarly Z transform for e power plus j omega n will be equal to z upon z minus e power plus j omega. This is the Z transform of e power plus j omega n, e power plus j omega n, and ROC for this will also be equal to mod of z should be greater than 1. This is how we can get the Z transform of a given complex exponential signal. Now, on the basis of this derivation, we can find the Z transform for sine and cosine signals also. So, if the signal is given as in the discrete time domain, as if this x of n is given as sine omega n u of n. Suppose this is the given signal for which we have to get the Z transform sine omega n un, and we know the expression for Z transform as it is equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite sine of n sine of omega n into u of n into z power minus n. Again, because u of n is multiplied here, this limit will become from 0 to infinite. So n is from 0 to infinite sine of omega n z power minus n. And we know that this sine of omega n can be written as e power j omega n minus e power minus j omega n divided by 2j. This sine of omega n can be written as e power plus j omega n minus e power minus j omega n upon 2j. And we know it means that Z transform for this sine of omega n x of z can be written as sigma n is from 0 to infinite e power j omega n z power minus n divided by 2j, plus now this will become n is from 0 to infinite, this is minus, so I will put a minus sign here, minus e power minus j omega n z power minus n divided by 2j. It means that this term is simply the Z transform of e power minus e power plus j omega n divided by 2j, and this is the Z transform of e power minus j omega n into 1 by 2j. This is the Z transform of e power plus j omega n, and this is the Z transform of e power minus j omega n. So simply we can write it, the Z transform of these two signals are, as we seen earlier, this will become 1 by 2j, take 1 by 2j common from both the terms, and Z transform of e power plus j omega n will be z upon z minus e power plus j omega minus z upon z minus e power minus j omega, as we seen in the previous case. Now this can be simplified further as from here x of z will become 1 by 2j. This will become, multiply with this in this term, this will become z square minus z into e power minus j omega, z square minus z into e power minus j omega minus z square minus z square plus z into e power plus j omega plus z into e power plus j omega divided by z minus e power minus j omega into z minus e power minus j omega. This is z minus e power plus j omega into z minus e power minus j omega. Now this can be further simplified as 1 by 2j. This z square and minus z square will cancel each other, and now if we will take z common from these two terms, so this will become z into 1 minus z into e power plus j omega minus e power minus j divided by, multiply these two terms also. After multiplication this will become z square minus z into e power minus j omega, z square minus z into e power minus j omega minus z into e power plus j omega plus e power j omega into e power minus j omega. This will become e power 0. Now this can be further written as 1 by 2j, multiply with and divide, multiply and divide in this term by 2j, so that this will become z into 2j into e power j omega minus e power minus j omega divided by 2j. Again this will become z square minus z into e power z square minus z into e power j omega plus e power minus j omega plus 1. I have taken simply minus z common from these two terms. After taking minus z common, this will become e power j omega plus e power minus j omega. And now I will cancel this 2j and this 2j, and this is the expression for, if we will remember, this is the expression for sine of omega. This will become sine of omega. And again if we divide this term by 2 and multiply with 2, so this will become cos of omega. This will become cos of omega. So the Z transform for the sine of omega n un will be equal to z into sine omega divided by divided by z square minus 2z into cos omega plus 1. This is the z transform of a sinusoidal signal sine of omega n, which is equal to z into sine omega upon z square minus 2z cos omega plus 1. Similarly, we can find the z transform for the cosine signal also. I will write insert z transform for, suppose x of n is given as cos of omega n un. For this, x of z will be equal to sigma, n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, and instead of cos of omega n I will write here e power j omega n plus e power minus j omega n divide by 2 into z power minus n, and this limit will be from 0 to infinite, which can be written as 1 by 2 into sigma, n is from 0 to infinite, e power j omega n z power minus n plus e power minus j omega n z power minus n. This is nothing but z transform of e power j omega n, and this is the z transform of e power minus j omega n. And we know z transform of e power plus j omega n will be z upon z minus e power j omega plus z upon z minus e power minus j omega. Simply by simplifying this relation, we can find the z transform of given cosine signal. So this will be equal to 1 by 2, multiply these two, this will become z square minus z into e power minus j omega plus z square minus z into e power plus j omega divided by z minus e power j omega into z minus e power minus omega. This can be further simplified as x of z will be equal to z square plus z square 2z square plus, here it is e power, I will take minus z common here, so this will become minus z into e power plus j omega plus e power minus j omega, e power j omega plus e power minus j omega divided by, again multiply these two terms, so this will become z square minus z into e power minus j omega minus z into e power plus j omega plus e power 0, because e power minus j omega into e power plus j omega will become 0. Now this can be further written as 2 into z square minus z into, multiply and divide with 2, this will become e power j omega plus e power minus j omega divided by 2, and this is z square minus, take minus z common here, so this will become e power j omega plus e power minus j omega plus 1. Now again we can multiply and divide with 2 in this. So this will become finally this is e power j omega plus e power minus j omega divided by 2, which is equal to cos of omega, and this is also equal to cos of omega. Now this can be written as 2z square minus 2z cos omega upon z square minus 2z cos omega plus 1. And earlier when we have written the formula for the e power cos omega, it was divided by 2. So this 2 and 2 will cancel each other, and this will become z square minus z cos omega upon z square minus 2z cos omega plus 1. This is the z transform for a given cosine signal, which is equal to z square minus z cos omega upon z square minus 2z cos omega plus 1, or we can take z common here. So this will become z minus cos omega upon z square minus 2z cos omega plus 1. This is the z transform for the given cosine signal. So with this I will conclude this lecture, that we can find the z transform for the signals those are not absolutely summable. If the signal is absolutely summable, we can find the discrete time Fourier transform for that signal, and if the signal is not absolutely summable, even for those signal also we can find the z transform, but with certain conditions on the z, which is called the region of convergence of the z transform. So this is all for today. In the next lecture we will include some more interesting examples based on the z transform, and we will discuss some important properties of the z transform also. So this is all for today. Thank you.